Welcome to the results video for UFC Fight Night at the Apex in Las Vegas, Lemos vs Jandiroba. In this video we will have a look at the Oddsmakers versus the YouTube Prediction Channels versus the Tapology Community picks. Then we will look at which predictions channels had the most and least correct picks for this event, which channels would have won or lost you the most money if you followed all the predictions, and what your return of investment would have been. And we will end by looking at which channels have the longest losing and winning streaks over the past few weeks. But first we start with the totals for this week. On this card there were originally 12 fights, but one was cancelled, so 11 fights total. I've tracked 652 predictions from 61 channels for an average of 10.7 predictions per channel, which basically means that most channels make predictions on all the fights. So, who was better this week in predicting the winner of all the fights? The Oddsmakers, the YouTube Prediction Channels, or the Tapology Community? And what would have happened if you had placed a $100 bet on all the favorites or underdogs for every fight? The favorite in odds won 7 out of 11 fights and the underdogs in odds won 4 of them. If you placed a $100 bet on all the favorites in odds, you could have won $84 and you would have lost $190 if you only bet the underdogs on this card. The UFC predictors on YouTube were less good this week in predicting the winners for this event. The favorites in picks by them won 6 out of 11 times, and you would have lost money no matter which side you choose. This is of course due to the FIC, the oddsmaker stake, which is 5%. The favorites on the Tapology Community did way worse. They only managed to predict the winner 4 times, and you would have won $357 for a 32% return of investment just by choosing the opposite of their picks and going with the underdogs. So the oddsmakers were best this week in predicting the winners for each fight. Now let's find out which channels made the least correct predictions this week. In 5th place for least correct picks this week are Jacob from We Want Picks and James Lynch. Both had 4 out of 10 predictions correct, or 14% of picks correct. In 4th place we have 3 channels: Greedo Plays, Half the Battle and This is MMA. They all had 4 out of 11 picks correct, or 36% correct. In 3rd place is Santino DeFranco with 2 out of 7 picks correct for a correct pick percentage of 29%. The second worst pickers this week are Axel MMA and Just Win Baby MMA. Both had 3 out of 11 predictions correct for a 27% correct pick percentage. But the channel with the least correct picks this week is Tiger Bomb MMA. He made 11 predictions and only 2 of them were correct, for 18% correct. Now let's find out which channels had the most correct predictions this week. In 3rd place this week for most correct picks we have a total of 9 channels: BetSlamWithSam, the MMA Fortune Teller, Kunat, DFS by the Numbers, Mom's Basement MMA, Baby Sharp MMA, Dissection of Violence, Premium Picks and Pure Picks. They all made 11 predictions for this card and 8 of them were correct, or 73%. In 2nd place we have MMA Betting Mastermind. He only made 4 picks this week and 3 of them were correct for a 75% correct pick percentage. And in 1st place this week for most correct picks we have 4 channels: MMA Lock of the Night, JonKellyDFS, Cody from Mayo Media Network and MMA Lewis. All of them had 9 out of their 11 predictions correct for an 82% correct pick percentage. Here is an overview of all 61 channels with their correct picks, their total picks and correct pick percentage. Feel free to pause the video if you want to have a closer look. Out of these 61 channels, which would have won or lost you the most money by following all of their picks? Let's start which channels would have lost you the most money. To calculate the money won or lost, we use the odds from the tail of the tape. In 6th place this week is Santino DeFranco. If you followed all of his picks and placed a $100 bet on each pick to win the fight, you could have lost $373 on your $700 investment for a return of investment of minus 53%. In 5th place of most money lost is This Is MMA. If you followed all of his 11 predictions, you could have lost $432 for a minus 39% return of investment. In 4th place we've got Greedo Plays. He also made 11 predictions, but following his 11 picks would have lost you $463 for a minus 42% ROI. In 3rd place of most money lost is Just Win Baby MMA, with a loss of $581 and a minus 53% ROI on your $1,100 investment. Then in 2nd place we have Axel MMA with a $607 loss for a minus 55% return of investment. But in 1st place for most money lost, if you had placed a $100 bet on all of his picks, is Tiger Bomb MMA, the channel with the least correct picks for this week, for a total loss of $780 and a return of investment of minus 71% on your $1,100 investment. Now let's find out which channels would have won you the most money if you followed their picks. In 6th place is Baby Sharp MMA. By following all of his picks to win the fight and placing a $100 bet on them, you could have won $424 for a 39% return of investment. Then in 5th place with $8 more profit is BetSlamWithSam for a 39% return of investment and a profit of $432. In 4th place is MMA Lewis with a profit of $544 on his 11 picks for a 49% return of investment. With a bit more profit, in 3rd place is Cody from the Mayo Media Network for $552 in profit and a 50% return of investment. Then, with a tiny bit more money, is MMA Lock of the Night with $555 in profit and also a 50% return of investment. So yeah, number 4, 3 and 2 in most money won are very close together. But the number 1 this week was not as close to them. The channel that is number 1 this week is JonKellyDFS. By following all of his 11 picks and placing a $100 bet on every pick to win the fight, you could have won $634 for a very good return of investment of 58%. So, congratulations to JonKellyDFS on being the most profitable predictor this week. You can find links to all the channels with the best results this week in the video description below. Here is all the data for all 61 channels that I've tracked for this event. Pause the video to have a closer look. Now, for the last part, let's look at all the channels with the longest winning and losing streaks for the past few weeks. And we start with the losing streaks. The following 14 channels are on a 2-week losing streak. 6 out of those 14 channels have a 3-week losing streak. BrokeBets MMA, Have the Battle, MMA Play 365, The MMA Guru, This Is MMA, and Tiger Bomb MMA. Out of those 6 channels, 2 of them are on a 4-week losing streak. Those channels are BrokeBets MMA and This Is MMA. Let's hope for them that they find themselves in the green next week. On a 2-week winning streak, we have the following 9 channels. Out of those 9 channels, 5 are on a 3-week winning streak. BetSlamWithSam, Fight Fiend Forecast, High Kick Fight Picks, Premium Picks and Angelo from We Want Picks. How many of those 5 are on a 4-week winning streak? Well, only 2. BetSlamWithSam and Angelo. And what about 5 weeks? Well, amazingly, both of them have a 5-week winning streak. Did any of them manage to have a 6-week winning streak? Well, only one, and that is BetSlamWithSam. So congratulations to both Angelo and BetSlamWithSam on their impressive 5 and 6 week winning streak. That was it for this results video for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.